gonna be honest, I did not like Mag before this video. I get it, she was very strong. It's just that she was in my playstyle. She was in the slower playstyle, which is why I had to go find a different build. I had to go make a different build. Now, I want to say, before I get started this video, I did not come up with the idea. I did make the build of the Warframe, but I did not come up with the idea, the base idea for the build. I seen a couple people using it. I copy it. I stole that shit. I 6ix9ine that shit. Yeah, so this is my version of the build. So let's get started. Alright, I don't know how true this is, but apparently if you subscribe, you do more damage in Warframe. I don't know how true that is, but shit, I guess there's no harm in trying. Shit, everything in Warframe is just stat balancing. There's like there is the core build, but most of the mods are like stat balancing, so you could copy this exact loadout, but I'm gonna explain the core, the main part of the build, the most important part of the build. Let's go. All right, first thing, the core, the thing that doesn't affect the stat, it doesn't move the stat, but it has a big boost to your damage, is Precision Intensify. So what it does, it gives you 90% ability strength for your 4th ability, you know, with Subsume. I don't know if I didn't mention this, but we are gonna subsume Pyrotechnics in this build. So yeah, Precision Intensify, it's gonna boost the damage by 90%. Another thing that doesn't show up in the stat right here is Arcane Vitality. So what Arcane Vitality does is gonna double every damage you're doing, like, because we are doing mostly heat, we are only doing heat damage. So yeah, also another thing that doesn't come up, that doesn't come up in the stat right here, is Arcane Crepuscular. So while invisible, we gain ability strength. We'll get to the invisibility, how we're gonna go invisible later on. And every other stuff, everything here is just, we are just balancing the stat out. We are sacrificing duration because we don't really have anything here for duration. We don't need duration. In fact, the less duration you have, the better in this build. So yeah, so that is the whole Warframe build. Make changes, whatever you want to do. I do have another thing, I do have preparation. I don't like using energy pad when I just spawn in the mission. Feel free to use whatever you want, but I do like preparation. I like to spawn in with the 100% energy. That's just me though. All right, like I said before, Mag is very squishy. How we deal with the squishiness is by using the Shade Prime. The Shade Prime, what it does, if you have this mod on her, like the shade will cloak its owner. When enemies are within 24 meters, the cloak is disrupted if the owner attack. Now, not every attacking like disrupt the cloaking. For example, last ability we subsume into Mag, it does not interrupt the cloaking. You will still stay invisible while you're killing stuff, which is how we're gonna stay alive the whole mission. All right, one thing I forgot to mention is that if you are using this build, it is very squishy. Even if you're invisible, specifically if you are getting hit by a status, you are gonna die because you are very squishy. You only have 500 health. You don't have adaptation on the build. You don't have any like mod to able to tank them. So if you get hit by status, you are going to die. So which is why I recommend finding a spot for rolling guard if you are doing something like infested, like where it's heavy status on you. So yeah, and another thing about this build, it's not supposed to be like a level cap build. You're not gonna go to level cap and grab the enemies and one shot them. That's just crazy. That's just crazy. You're not gonna be able to level cap with this build. It is for the early missions, for like the early steal path, you know, the level 200-300, maybe 500. You are not gonna go to level 9,999 with it. I just want to say that this is just a very casual, not casual build. It's like early sweat. But yeah, and if you do want to go to level cap with it, just you might want to try to invest into a shield gating build and putting more effort into her 3rd ability and her last and her 2nd ability. Yeah, moving on. But I do have 2 casting speed and I also have 3 strength. Feel free to put a max strength ones. I don't have the max one yet, so yeah. All right, we are here. The only 2 things you're gonna be doing in this build is group them and then quickly hit your last ability. That is the whole build. So you could just run around and just group them. As soon as they group, you just kill them. As soon as they group, you just kill them. And you are gonna be one-shotting half of the lobby, like until a certain amount of levels where you cannot go no more. Like, but yeah. All right, so another thing, you cannot grab the stalker like that. Stalker ain't no bitch. You can't also you cannot grab the big tanky boys, the Eximus unit. You cannot grab them. That is the whole build. Feel free to check out my gyre build. I did post a gyre build that was very similar to this. Like the concept of this, it was very similar to this. Yeah, like I said, I am this close to 400 subscribers. If you guys could hit the sub button, it would mean the world to me. Thank you. Have a great rest of your day.